and welcome to the Bookkeepers Podcast. I'm Jo Wood, and today I am joined by Ben Perry of Ben Perry Bookkeeping. Hi, Ben. How are you?
Hi, Jo. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for being our guest today. Ben, would you like to start off by letting us know a little bit about you and your journey to becoming a bookkeeper?
Yeah, of course. Hi everyone. My name is Ben Perry, owner of Ben Perry Bookkeeping. So I set up my business in July of 2023. My business is based in South Devon. So I set up my business following a time. Well, I initially went to university for 3 days, doing business management and finance. Realised that wasn't what I wanted to do, and kind of been swept along in the typical school route where they have to do A levels, have to do uni. And I didn't think that was right for me. So I came back and found an apprenticeship in an accountancy practice in Plymouth. And the communication was breaking down there between the different hierarchies of the business, and it wasn't really for me. I had a few opportunities with as an associate through my mum, who's got her own business. And basically I took the leap, and there were some really big jobs. So I took the leap and set my own business to help her out and grow from there. I've always wanted to run my own business, so I thought it was the perfect time, really.
Oh, amazing. So Ben, you are only in your early 20s. So you're very new to your career and working life. We just go back to the moment when you was at university. So you chose, was it business management and
finance?
Business management and finance. What was it that you thought you were going to get? And then after 3 days, what was it that you were like, this isn't the right route?
Yeah. Well, from the get-go, when I was finishing, during my A levels, I was planning it all out, thinking I wanted to do this. I had all the routes from what I wanted to do at uni to the jobs afterwards. I had it all planned out. And then I think I was hyping myself up so much, and when I got there, kind of just felt a bit flat. It was like, I think one of the issues was I was put in a flat of only 5 people, which there wasn't a huge amount of people to meet. So it was kind of, and obviously there's a whole uni to meet, but that initial vibe where I thought I was going to make loads of new friends and everything, it just kind of just wasn't right. But then there's also the realization of I'm going to have to spend the next 3 years studying really hard. I'm going to get in debt, and I'm not going to get that practical experience, which I could have done elsewhere, and get straight into work, which that kind of realization kind of made me think, why am I doing this? So I thought, I don't want to get any further into debt or waste any more time. So I thought, let's just call it a day and think.
And here you are.
Yeah.
I suppose that takes a lot of courage, especially when I know what's involved in getting a uni place, setting up accommodation, organising the student loan, choosing the course, choosing the university. All of that is like a lot of time and effort. And after a few days, to really trust yourself enough to make a decision like that is like quite massive. And do you feel that you're quite a confident person, or do you just trust your gut?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think back at that time, I wasn't really a confident person. I didn't really know what I wanted. Well, I did have a plan, but at that stage, I was worried that leaving uni, I'd have no plan. I really had no idea what to do. But I think it was that gut feeling. I didn't want to waste my time if it's just not going to be beneficial for me. So it was that initial gut feeling. I think something's not right here. So I thought, I can't go ahead with something I don't believe in. I've got to.
No. And that's, I mean, how long would you have been at uni now if you'd have stayed?
That would probably be coming towards the end of the second year.
Okay. And now, where are you at now? You've started, when did you start your practice?
So that was mid-July 2023.
Okay. Coming towards a year of having your own business. You said your mum has her own business. Do you think you've got people around you that are entrepreneurial, and that's helped you, having that kind of support network? Were your family supportive of your choices to leave university and go initially into employment, and then again you made that massive change and it's like, this isn't working for me either, apprenticeship's not working, university's not working, I'm going to set up on my own in my early 20s? Did you have a lot of support, or did you have some people saying, are you sure this is right for you?
Yeah, Well, luckily, both my parents definitely did they believe that what I personally think is, but at the end of the day, it's my decision, and they think that I would make enough informed decisions to make sure it is actually what I'm wanting to do. So they do definitely just back what I say, but also I think they do think now that looking back, it is definitely the right choice. Especially because they're both run, both my mum and dad both run their own businesses. But my mum has been obviously quite useful because she's in the same sort of industry. She's a virtual assistant but does bookkeeping, so she's quite helpful in the sense that she can kind of guide me in how to run the business side of it, which obviously I know a little bit. But as she's been there for 6 years, so she's got the idea of how to do it all. So she's going to be quite supportive on that journey as well.
Yeah, I think it really does make, it's like we're all in echo chambers, and they say about like the 5 people that you hang around with, you're going to be inspired by, and obviously seeing your parents running their own businesses and making it work will have that impact on you that this is possible. Whereas people that haven't got anyone around them that are entrepreneurs will be like, well, how does it even work? So, and you sound, that's why when we've had a chat before, really resonated with your journey, because I started my entrepreneurial journey at 21 too, because work wasn't working for me, and my parents have always been self-employed, so I get that it just felt like a no-brainer. But the truth is, as you said, that school isn't set up like that. We're taught that we're going to be employees for the rest of our lives, and that works for lots of people. And I definitely, there's been times where I've gone back into employment at different stages because it worked for me at some points and didn't at other points. How many people in your, A-level classes and things are entrepreneurs now, or are they all at university or all at work? Are you like quite rare in your age group?
Yeah, that's from what I'm aware of. I don't know, obviously, everyone in my year, but I know there's probably 3 or 4 people I've been chatting to that have their own businesses. But out of the whole year, which was probably over 100, I don't even know how many people were in my year. It's not a big percentage at all.
No, but I still think that's growing. I really do. I think it's going in the right direction compared to what it would have been years ago. So when you started your business, you had your mum that was running a similar kind of business. How did you get your first clients? Were they from your mum, and do you have your own clients now?
Yeah, so I initially had 2 jobs come through from my mum as associate work. They were really, really big jobs because the clients have just completely messed up their bookkeeping from years and years before. One of the clients now has probably got 15 VAT returns outstanding, totaling around £450,000. It's a lot of work. So I've been doing a lot of the first few months was just working on those jobs. But since then, I've been working on my brand and just getting my name out there, building those connections. And now I have got my own clients. So I've now got a total of 7 clients. And one of the clients is actually increasing the amount of work I've got with them, which I'm going to chat after this too.
Amazing.
But yeah, I've got a good few leads that I will be starting probably in the next few months. So hopefully that'll start picking up a lot more.
Brilliant. So how are you getting these new clients? As somebody, I hear all the time, all of these limiting beliefs, I haven't been in bookkeeping or accountancy that long. I haven't been in practice, or I haven't got this qualification, or all of these things. Here's you at a very young age. You've not got a degree. You've not been in practice that long because you left, and you've started like new. So you could have all the excuses, but you don't.
Yeah.
Where are you finding these clients, and kind of how are you dealing with any objections, and do you get any objections due to your age?
Yeah. Well, just to start with, I am first of all a AAT qualified bookkeeper, so I am qualified as a bookkeeper, which helps stand me apart because I am qualified. Yeah, so I have had that age discrimination in some ways, not proper discrimination, but I have had that conversations about getting a new job, and they were like, "Oh, you're just too young, not experienced enough." Which, to start with, that happened at the first kind of setting up of the business. I was just kind of worried about the fact that this would hinder me going forward. But then I think it was actually after watching something to do with you, I can't remember where, but something that you were talking about, just kind of made me have that different perspective, thinking that being young is not a bad thing. I've got a different perspective on business, and I'm using an accounting software which is technology, and being young, that's good because I know how to use technology more. because I know an accountant that was literally, we were chatting to, and they were literally saying they don't like software, they prefer pen and paper. But when they're making tax digital, you need that software. So I'm standing out in that way. But in terms of how I'm getting my clients, it is mainly just social media to start with. I'm getting my name out there in the local groups, making people aware of me, family and friends as well. Some of them need clients, but one of them that's I'm quite proud of from getting is back in October. Someone in a Facebook group commented saying they just general question about just kind of applying for a house, but they needed someone to approve their like books basically. I commented in that and just mentioned and gave a little bit of advice, and literally 4 months later, so like February this year, they got back to me and they wanted me to be their bookkeeper. And I'm based in Devon, they're from London.
Wow.
So just from that advice from 4 months ago, they remembered me, and it must have been good advice. But they remembered me and they come all the way back. So it's just kind of getting your name out there, but also providing that valuable advice. People will remember you.
Yeah, so true. And you put that advice out there without wanting anything in return. And that is really important when we're starting to get visible. Some people go out there and it's like sell. And that's not, it's about nurturing, it's about engaging. It's about, people can feel your intentions when you respond to them and how you follow up. So that proves that really does work. And I think people think that going onto social media and engaging in these could be a waste of time, but you never know who's looking, you never know who's watching. So what is your social media kind of strategy? What do you put out there and what do you engage with? Or do you have anything at the moment, or you just like ad hoc as and when the moment takes you, you do things?
Yeah. So the way I've been kind of planning at the moment is I plan out my posts on a quarterly basis of what I want to talk about. Obviously, there's stuff that come into my mind during that quarter, but I have that initial base of, I aim for around 3 posts a week, but making sure that the posts do provide value to the clients, or to the people reading it. So kind of all like different advice or tips or any changes to the law that people need to be made aware of, just to provide that value and show that despite me being young, I do know what I'm talking about, and that will hopefully make people trust me and then willing to work with me in the long run.
Did you share your education journey on any platforms as well? So you've got your AAT, but you didn't do it through an apprenticeship. So was you self-studying, or tell us about your study journey? So because you was going to do the university, then you became an apprentice. What was how did you do it on your own, and what college did you use, etc.?
Yeah, so I was in my apprenticeship, I was training up to become the accountant. And I stopped that probably on my just before my final exam to become a qualified bookkeeper, so you can stop short and become qualified bookkeeper. So I most of it was through the apprenticeship, and then I was just working with the same college with myself in my own business. So I kind of had that relationship with the college and kind of just continued there. So luckily I did have that support already in place.
Amazing. So you was able to take that on. And did you share on social media when you passed exams and things? Because some people feel that it shows that, oh, well, I've only just passed this exam, but you're young. I mean, have you ever shared that kind of part of your journey?
Yeah, I shared when I qualified the level 2 AAT and then the level 3, and then when I got the official qualification for the qualified bookkeeper, but I didn't share like my exam results or anything each one I passed.
No.
But I did definitely acknowledge when I passed my levels. Yeah.
You know, I've got a story about that. Like my son, he's the same age as you, and he passed his Xero certified program, certificate thing, and advisor. That's it. And I said to him, right, put it on your LinkedIn. So he took a photo, or I took a photo of him with his certificate, and he looked really smart. And then I shared it on my LinkedIn. And it was really funny. About 6 months later, someone came to me and said, oh, do you think your son can help us out with Xero? And I was thinking, well, I was a gold partner at the time, but they'd reached out to ask if my son could help. And actually that client went on to be worth £2,400 a month for our business. And that was off the back of me sharing that he had passed. And they actually came in and wanted to speak to him and not even me because they didn't realize that I knew as much as he did or more maybe with all my years. But that was really interesting. I was like, wow, I didn't realize how, because in our echo chamber with other bookkeepers, accountants, we think, oh, wow, I'm brand new at this. But to a client who is sitting there with their zero going, I don't know how to do this. I've bought this program. I don't know what to do. If they see someone with a certification, they're like, they know a lot more than me. And I think having the confidence to know that we're always a couple of steps ahead of somebody else. We don't have to be the furthest in the world. That's not the point. But if we can help someone else, so I think it's always really good.
Credibility at the end, really, at the end of the day. If you have that qualification, you are set apart from others. And I remember, I think you said another thing you said recently about at the end of the day, you might not think you're smart enough, but you're probably going to be one of the smartest people in the room. If you're surrounded by like the average people, you're going to know what you're talking about the most. So you might not be the smartest bookkeeper, but you know a lot more than a lot of people.
Absolutely. Yeah. And when we do, when we talk in our, community and things about, like, I know technical terms, we think it's just normal. And then if you talk to your like closest friends, they'd be like, what are you talking about? I don't understand what it is you do. And so it's interesting. It's all perception, isn't it? It's all perception. So tell us about your practice and your app stack. Like, you've come at this being young, loving technology. Do you feel that you are building a business like with gamification in mind, like making it fun, or do you? And I love the fact, and I say this so many times, I love the fact you've only got a short amount of time and experience in practice, because I feel like having 10 years in practice teaches you how to build a business wrong, I think, most of the time, unless you're in a very, very successful, profitable, futuristic practice. The majority of the time, they're like, that's why my businesses failed at the beginning, because I was trying to replicate what I'd learned in practice and it wasn't sustainable. So how are you building differently? And do you have a specific app stack for your clients, or are you responsive to what they want? How are you building it?
Yeah. Well, first of all, so I haven't had that much experience in employed work, but I from my short time there, I have already worked out how not to run a business. It was a large business, but I already know things that they could have improved them already. I specifically focus on in zero. That's the only what I do. So that makes me a specialist in what I offer. Just having that focus on one thing will stand me apart. I do offer a few other things in terms of like training. I do health check with Xenon Connect. I watched that webinar recently. I offer that for free as well, which is always nice, and literally the first time I offered that for free, I gave them a report and everything, and then they came back and wanted to chat with me immediately after. So it's giving that stuff for free will get people into your conversations at the end of the day. What I'm doing with my business really is I do guide it what the clients want. I ask them at the start basically what their goal is and what they're wanting to achieve, and then I kind of put a plan in place of how we can achieve that. Because obviously some people just want me just to make sure they can do it for tax purposes, or if they're wanting to use it to grow their business, or they want more time in the day, how we can use their bookkeeping to achieve that, really. So it's kind of just working out their goals and then putting a plan in place.
Amazing. So are you using anything like HubDoc or Dex? How do you do your receipt capture?
Yeah, it is HubDoc I use because that's already built in with the package in Xero.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say I have used Dex in my time, but I feel it's just the additional cost. I don't think there's that much benefit. It will depend on the client though sometimes, because you can get the cheaper plan on Xero if potentially you don't, because obviously it creates the bills and that potentially makes the plan expensive. So it's kind of just working out what's most suitable for the client and how we can do it. But the softwares I use would mainly be HubDoc, Xero, and the Xenon Connect.
Amazing. And so what would you say your, the best service you offer is? You're a bookkeeper, and where do you take it to with regards to compliance? Do you do VAT? Do you do any payroll? What are your services?
Yeah, so I don't do payroll. I do the VAT and basically just getting everything up to the trial balance level for the accountant. I don't do any of the personal tax or all that side of it. It's kind of all the bookkeeping, the VAT, but it's the training and the health check. And I do like support packages as well. So if anyone wants to do their own bookkeeping, I can train them to do it and help them along their journey as well. So it's just purely the bookkeeping side of it.
Amazing. So what have been, do you think, the biggest challenges that you have come up against in your first year, because you're still in your first year of business?
Yeah. Well, as I said earlier, it was that sort of age discrimination of not thinking I'm experienced enough, and why would people want to work with me because I have no experience behind me. But now I've overcome that with just kind of that mental aspect of realizing it's not an issue. It's actually something I can embrace and use. But it's still at this stage trying to get my name out there. I have built my connections on LinkedIn I basically had no LinkedIn presence at all before, and now I'm probably near 600 followers. So just getting my name out there, get people aware of me, keep posting in the local groups, people will know who I am. So that will eventually turn into clients. But at the moment, it's the leads coming through. It is sort of slow. It's not actually that slow. It's kind of at this stage, they're kind of getting them contacting me and then kind of ghosting me in some ways. They're not trying to come back and actually want to turn into an actual client. So it's just kind of working the way around that and how I can actually get those clients in the house, really.
Well, I think you're doing brilliantly with visibility, because my sister lives in Devon, and she was like, here she is, Gemma O'Brien. She was like, I met this guy, Ben, and he says he knows you. And I'm like, I'm in Kent in the southeast. So I think you're doing a great job with getting visible, because even my sister knows you, and she's not a bookkeeper. So that's amazing. It's amazing that you're getting yourself out there. And it's a bit like anything, isn't it? Building a successful business is, this like 10-year journey to like overnight success. People think everyone's like overnight success, but there's always a story. There's always consistent, boring action, quarterly planning of your content, and then engaging and being there. And it's slowly and surely building up confidence. What you're doing already, I love the package that you're offering. You're offering this, bookkeeping centric package, which is so valuable. You're sticking to one piece of software with Xero, and then you're offering this health check as well added on. That is really valuable. It doesn't need to be all bells and whistles and everything to everyone. I think there's so much to be said for niching down in our services as well as our ideal client and software. You know who you are, you know how you can help people, and it helps to keep your messaging really clear. And when people want that service, they'll know where to come. So I think it's great. And I do think you are visible and you are getting yourself out there. And I do think your age sets you apart from other people, because it's intriguing and interesting. And for me, I resonate with that, because I was young once a very long time ago. And I remember being an audit senior and being about 19, 20, going in to audit these £1 million businesses, and people looking at me like, you're the auditor, really? And I was like, yeah, I am. And I know exactly what I'm doing. But there was a lot of internal dialogue to get out of my own way. So I really congratulate you on that. Ben, what is the vision? Like, where do you see this business going in maybe, the next year to 3 years, or in the future?
Yeah. So my plan for, I'm planning in tax years, but for this tax year, my plan is to get a new client in a month, which will take me to around 18 clients by the end of the year, which at that stage, I will obviously try and provide the most value to those clients as possible. But then going forward, my intention will be to bring a few team members in as associate work and grow my team around me then. And then going forward, after that, my plan is to kind of do sort of similar thing to what you offer with like the coaching and like the memberships and all that side of it. And yeah, I am potentially looking in the longer term to kind of become a business coach as well, so I can provide additional value with my experience. Well, will have experience in bookkeeping, but to use that with the business coaching side just to provide the most value to all my clients and any future clients.
How do you feel about like inspiring a generation? You know, do you feel kind of passionate about the opportunities that bookkeeping can give people? I know, I mean, I'd love to know this from you. Something that, you know, my son has done similar qualifications to you. He was working with us. He's now changed careers completely and he's doing something physical. He was like, sitting by a desk is not for him. And also working from home wasn't for him. Obviously, you know, you work from home and, you know, how do you get in the social aspect, and how would you like sell this to people thinking about starting a self-employed business from home as a young person? Because even you said, like, when you joined university, you wanted 5 people in the house wasn't enough, and now you're working from home. How are you helping your social life?
Yeah, well, the good thing with self-employment is the fact it is flexible. So you can go and see friends if you need that. And if you do need to, instead of working, you can just work in like a shared working area and meet people there. But from my point of view, is I've got a close group of friends, which I think when I was moving away for uni, that actually kind of hindered it, because all my friends were here. A lot of my friends aren't going to uni. So now that I'm staying here, I see them regularly. Every single Friday we go to the pub. Every single week. We probably haven't missed it for the last year and a half. So, and I play 5-a-side with them. So just doing other things outside of work. Because at the end of the day, I know obviously at work you would be with other people, but you're not going to necessarily be with your close friends. They're not going to be there. So it's just kind of finding that time outside of work as well to meet them. But also, same thing with like the 6-figure community, is the fact you build those friends with people in your industry as well. So you might not be in the same office as them, but you still build those relationships.
Yeah. Are you planning on coming to any of the events, the live events this year?
Haven't thought about it, to be honest, but most definitely.
Yeah. So next week's the Digital Accountancy Show, and then we've got Accountex, and we've got ZeroCon, and there's like loads of things going on. So hopefully you can get out into the, you know, and meet some of us and get to find your business besties as well. And I think that's the other thing, Ben, because you're actually talking with clients and you're out there on social media and engaging, it doesn't feel as lonely when you're doing all those things. And like you said, it's very important to have some outside of work, you know, interests with your 5-a-side and things like that, so that you get out and about. We've had a question here about like outsourcing. So you spoke about maybe one day having some associate bookkeepers in your team. Are you thinking that they will be people your age, older, or in this country, or would you just think about offshoring? What's your kind of view with regards to building a team in the future?
Yeah, it would be 100% won't be abroad. I will 100% keep it within the UK. It's not necessarily I don't think that abroad is suitable, but I would have more trust with people in the UK because there's the credibility of me living from the UK. I probably would prefer people nearer me in the country, just to have that ability to meet them every now and again, just to discuss things. But I think definitely the younger generation would be definitely a better route for me, just because that is technically will become my brand. It will be the young bookkeeper, not just a bookkeeper. I'm the young one that has that unique perspective. So I think building a younger team will definitely be beneficial for me.
I think you should put yourself forward to your local schools and things and go and get yourself speaking on stages and inspiring, because that again is all that visibility piece. You can have some photos of you speaking on stage. I mean, I think a secondary school audience may be the hardest audience for anyone to ever stand up in front of. But I think you're going to have like, you know, a better shot by being young. You'll be inspiring. And I think I wish I'd have done that at a younger point. I was not, unfortunately, but I was raising children at that time, so it didn't enter my head. But now I think I wish I'd spoken when I was younger to those. And now, I mean, hopefully I'm inspiring my children. My children have got their own like entrepreneurial spirits and running their own businesses in their own way. But I think, while you're young, you should definitely do that. And, you know, I bet they go back and you could hand out some you could give out some QR codes and get them to speak to their parents about the health checks that they need in their business and things like that. I think the whole technology, the AI, software point, I think it's going to keep becoming a younger industry, because who doesn't want, I love the AI aspect of things, and I'm sure you do too. And you can say really, people, I've said this so many times this week, AI is not going to take your job, but somebody using and utilizing AI will take your job. And being young and being able to absorb like a sponge all of this information, I think you're in such a unique and like special place to be able to inspire people. Is that something you think you'd like to do?
Definitely. Yeah. Another thought I have had at one point is kind of teaching the younger generation of kind of just understanding finance in general, not necessarily like business side of it, just understanding finance, because that's the issue with schools. And well, first of all, in the comment you said before about the fact going up and speaking to the school and all the kids, I don't think the school would want me, because I'm going to be preventing them from all the kids from going to uni and A levels and all that. So why would they want it? But yeah, it's just schools don't teach you about how to have a mortgage or even just interest or anything. So that's something I also had a thought of just trying to influence the future generation, just be wise with.
I think that's so important. Do you know what the other thing? They might lose all their teachers if you start explaining how you're working from home and how you've got flexible hours and you're using technology. They might lose some of their teachers to the profession as well. Yeah, absolutely. But maybe there's like careers fairs and things like that as well. But I definitely think you should definitely do this while you're young. Maybe even like a YouTube channel. Like, how can you get access to? How can you like inspire them without even being at the school and thing? I think you really should, document everything at the moment, because you're going to look back in it's going to go like this, and then you're going to go, oh my goodness, where's my youth gone? And then you're going to be like the expert. Yeah, I can imagine. Oh, Ben, thank you so much for speaking to us today. It's so lovely to hear your perspective. I really hope that we get to see you in person at some events.
100%.
Really just can't, I'm not proud because I've had nothing to do with your success, but I just because you are the same age as my son, I'm like, wow, I'm in awe, I'm inspired by the action that you're taking. And I know it's not easy, but you're not letting any of this get in the way, and you're moving forward. So you should be really proud of yourself. And I'm sure your parents are too, super proud of you. Ben, if anyone wants to follow you or reach out to you, how's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, so I have LinkedIn, and that's just my name, Ben Perry. I have a Facebook account as well, which is Ben Perry Bookkeeping. But yeah, I've got a website, and you can contact me through there. So that's www.benperrybookkeeping.co.uk. And you can book a meeting in on there as well through my Calendly if that's something you want to talk about.
Oh, thank you so much, Ben. It's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you to everyone that's been listening, and we will catch you next week on another episode of the Bookkeepers Podcast. Take care. Bye.
Thank you.